What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Week 4 Swolecast here on RotoGrinders.com. I'm David Kitchen, joined by Davis Mattek. Davis, you look like flustered right now.
Why do I look flustered, bro?
There wasn't really they're just saying, I think it's your hair. I don't know.
Yeah, you got some.
I did just get back from the gym, so I probably got mad flyaways.
How's your wrist?
My wrist is doing good, man. Thank you for asking. Thank you for your
What
almost fatherly level of concern.
Die alone? How have I not seen this tattoo before?
Oh,
You've never seen are you serious? We've never done this arm tattoo thing before?
Yeah, live together, die alone.
Never seen it. I like it.
How do I know Davis's tattoos? That's probably sad on my part.
Because you know every inch of Davis's body, Dave.
When he applied for FI, you had him send in some interesting screenshots.
How do you think I got this gig? Dave knows everything.
Yeah. You had the what was the documentary? The Fire Festival doc.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. All right, Peter Overzet and Dan Gaspar also joining us. Peter, did you hear the big news today?
I don't know if I did, Dave.
Shakira and J-Lo.
Oh.
Halftime performers.
I know Tuttle saw the news because he typed out a tweet with his boner.
I couldn't resist. It just took over. you
Not a very corporate show.
I don't know.
Yeah. You befuddled Dave with that one. He's looking already is. Kitchen doesn't even know what to say.
Speaking of getting excited, get excited about Gridiron IQ. You can try it free this week on RotoGrinders.com. Instead of having like all those different tabs open, you can just
looking to bone up on your target share? Head over to Gridiron HQ.
All right, I'm sure we have some deposit bonuses on the site as well. If that's your thing, let's get into the overview. Let's get into it right now. If you don't mind. Davis, what's the Week 4 overview looking like, fella?
You actually have some tough decisions to make this week. Unlike last week where everything was just incredibly straightforward in terms of cash teams, you're probably going to have to decide between Christian McCaffrey, Austin Eckler, and Keenan Allen as your anchor. A lot of people are going to be playing Will Dissly at their tight end slot, despite the fact that he's probably going to have like a 4-target projection, if you're using projections that are any good. And, also you're going to have to make some decisions on Daniel Jones. The New York Giants have a 26-point team total against Washington, but Daniel Jones is also a quarterback that averaged 6.8 yards per attempt at Duke and, really played horrible for every down he played in college and then was good in the NFL. So I am personally not quite sure what to do with Daniel Jones and the New York Giants. He projects incredibly well in our stuff at dailyroto.com. And, I think there's a question of how much he's actually going to run. He had the 2 touchdowns last week, but only 4 rushing attempts. So that's where I'm at right now for this slate.
Are you ready to say that Keenan Allen is good?
I think I'm prepared to admit he's at least better than Mike Williams.
Okay. Because we've had some Keenan Allen slander out of you. I
played Julian Edelman and Keenan Allen in cash last week.
Speaking of,
I feel like a brand new man.
I went back because we had a bet. You said Randall Cobb, and I said I would take Preston Williams straight up. And then you gave me 2 points, and I went back to find out who the player was that you suggested. And when I did, the first spot I went to was when you said Keenan Allen was a cash play, but not a GPP play. And that was...
Shouldn't really play chalk wide receivers in cash in tournaments unless you're doing double stacks.
I'm not sure he was chalk, but anyways.
Wasn't he like 20% owned?
Oh, he's like 15, 17%. I don't know.
It's pretty chalky.
Okay, I just want to hear you say that he was good.
He was great.
And also wanted to mention that I won our bet last week, and I'm 3-0 in the Soccer Dad.
So how much do you love that 75-yard touchdown got called back by holding for Randall Cobb? Were you pretty big on that?
I don't even know what you're talking about. All right, Peter, what is your overview for the week?
My overview for the week is I talked myself into this being Seahawks week And then I galaxy brained it and was like, no, the Seahawks are actually just going to run a bunch and have a lead. So it's actually Cardinals week again for the third week in a row, and someone needs to take my login away from me. So I stopped playing Kyler Murray.
Dude,
David
it's
Johnson,
been
Christian
Cardinals
Kirk.
week. These guys have been great. I don't know. How can anyone be tilting them right now?
Well, Davis, we can tilt them because the ADOT for Kyler is like 3 yards. I mean,
It's so beautiful for Christian Kirk, though. Like, literally, Christian Kirk just gets like 10 free points just from getting like 1 yard receptions.
And Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Kyler had 69 rushing yards last
Yeah,
week.
Kyler finally started to run a nice amount, which you love to see that.
yeah, I'm down to go back to Kirk. I always am, but I'm starting to get worried that my infatuation with this offense is a little unfounded.
Are you giving us an ad on like what is this drink that you're?
You mean
Webs?
Truly, the official sponsor of the Swolecast?
Is it just me, or is like Truly on every primetime game commercial now?
Dude, we're trendsetters, man.
First time I had a Truly was on the RotoGrinders boat party a couple years ago. And I believe I was made fun of. Well, look who's laughing now. Tuttle, what's your overview for the week?
Yeah, I got nothing to add, guys. That was great. Good job.
Yay or nay on Daniel Jones, Tuttle?
Can I it? Like meh?
That's your brand, is men.
Yeah, I don't know.
Right defense.
David said it. I think projections are coming out a little bit hot on him right now.
Yeah, I mean, because you have to project him for a little bit of rushing, and then
David.
the team total is so high.
Davis, I will let you speak in a second. Just let Tuttle speak.
I mean, I got nothing to add. I was just free rolling it. So
Thanks
Davis
a lot,
is just perfectly fine to jump in there.
Thanks a lot.
Tuttle can't stop thinking about Shakira and J-Lo.
Yeah, I'm
focused.
I've got
Tuttle's
the
a
pants
mess.
off. I'm
like
looking
the
at J-Lo on the side screen here.
Anti-Truly show for Tuttle. I was surprised that people still liked last week's show, even though it was a sober show. They said it keeps on getting better and better. Like
Did anyone say that?
In
Did
jail.
anyone say it keeps getting better? I don't think
so.
anyone said
shout
that.
out to the user who said that Soccer Dave was the glue of this show.
Oh, what about the other users who said some other things about you in the YouTube comments?
No comment there. All right. Blowouts. Does blowouts factor into anything this week for you? Tuttle?
No.
Okay. Did you learn from your mistakes last week?
You know what? I don't want to hear it.
Okay.
Zeke's a cuck.
This show is getting banned from the airwaves for sure.
I almost added him on Twitter last week. I was so frustrated with him.
Imagine playing
anymore, man.
Imagine playing the Cowboys number 2 running back
I know.
at that egregious price. Davis, anything from you as far as blowouts go?
I think you have to alter the market shares in your projections a little bit. I just don't think it makes any sense to give these lead running backs, 75 to 80% of the work. We've seen it now against Miami in every game, but the other team just gets up so much that the lead running back's not getting all of the work. And I also think if you wanted to really galaxy brain it, you could add, or at least what I'm doing is I'm giving more yards per carry to the backup running back. Because apparently, Miami just can't defend anyone, and obviously we have bad yards per carry projections for a lot of these backup running backs. But I think giving Justin Jackson, something like 9 to 11 fantasy points in your stuff this week is not bad.
I was grinding the tape last week when they showed Chargers on Red Zone for a few seconds, and Justin Jackson looked good. He did. Yeah.
Even on the
touchdowns called back.
Yeah, even on those touchdowns that got called back, he looked great.
Yeah, he got star 69.
I haven't heard that yet, Davis. I like that.
You've never heard that?
That was like big 2 years ago. Yeah, that was CSU 2 years ago.
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm late to the party. Sorry, guys. I'm going to start using that all
out of the game.
Time.
Do you need us to explain what 69 is to you? Or?
Tuttle, I know this is your wheelhouse here.
All right. Let's talk about quarterbacks for a second, and we'll get on to draft.
So you take the girl. Okay, sorry. No, all right, go. All right. It's all you, Dave.
Thank you. Let's talk quarterbacks for a second. Can you imagine last week people not playing Kyle Allen at 4K on DraftKings.
Can you imagine that? And like people played Kyler instead,
or Dak. People played Dak.
Dak was good, bro. Didn't Dak got 25?
I mean, that was, I guess, almost what Kyle Allen got.
I cashed up no sweat with Dak in cash. Kyle Allen was a really good tournament play though, because it let you get access to like double stud wide receiver lineups with Keenan Allen.
Well, the bottom line is we don't have a Kyle Allen this week.
Oh, I was hoping you'd go the Case Keenum in cash, Dave.
I don't think, I mean, at New York, I understand it. Case Keenum is near and dear to my heart. Davis gave me, him in our dynasty league that we're in. It was just like, he's been balling out, but it's been in garbage time. But Daniel Jones, Case Keenum, this is a gross game for both these guys to be in. I want to know about Russell Wilson and Patrick Mahomes.
Russell Hustle and Bustle Man Muscle Wilson.
Yeah.
I think on DraftKings, I think your cash game quarterback choices are Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, maybe Jared Goff. If you want to get real weird, that would not be the direction that I would choose to go in, but I certainly think that you could. Wilson obviously would be even, improved a little bit better if you do play Will Dissly in cash. The concern I have about Russell Wilson is just, they're 6-point favorites in this game. We saw in the Cincinnati game when they're leading, they're not passing the ball at all. They're running the clock to 1 second on offense. They're playing super slow. The only reason Wilson has been good in the past 2 games is because they've been losing.
Tuttle?
Cool. Yeah. No, same thing. I mean, it's the Arizona, effect, increased plays, with the pace of play going up. The Cardinals offense is so inefficient that it leads to more possessions as well for the opposition. The Seahawks have been passing more though too. They have been, we kind of thought they would be just a ground and pound team the whole season. They're actually passing a little bit more this season. Some of that has been game script dependent, but they are putting a little bit more on Russell Wilson's plate. He is underpriced on DraftKings, so I'm fine going that route on DraftKings. I think he's probably the preferred option for me over Daniel Jones. If you can find a construction you like that gives you the $800 to spend at quarterback. But on DraftKings currently, remember this is Thursday, news could happen, but currently I think you're probably stuck between Wilson and Daniel Jones as your cash quarterback on DraftKings.
No love for Patrick Mahomes in cash. I know he's expensive.
Can't play him. Not first game in the dome. Too much uncertainty. Never know what could happen out there, Dave. Easy fade.
God's light can't shine on him, right, Peter?
That's right.
It's a wise man once said.
How are you getting Patrick Mahomes in cash, Dave? Like what? Like how? What way?
I'm asking you. I mean, if you're playing F1, you're playing.
He still doesn't fit even with McLaurin.
He popped on the injury report too. McLaurin did.
So I guess if you wanted to play Russell Wilson, what you'd have to do is you'd have to go
Mahomes.
Mahomes. My bad. I'm sorry. You'd have to play Kerryon Johnson and no Austin Eckler, no Christian McCaffrey. You'd have to go.
Kerryon's a lock, so we can just chalk him in there anyway. Oh yeah.
Kerryon is a lock, you think?
Davis
at 5,400,
man,
with his increased role. Absolutely.
I also don't think that the Eckler is a lock this week at his price tag.
I don't think he's a lot. I'm saying that there are, like I said at the top of the show, I think there are more different ways that you can go this week. I still don't see Russell Wilson being a play, or, I don't know why I keep doing that. Yeah. I don't see Mahomes being a cash play. It just doesn't seem super optimal to me. Like, you'd have to play Wayne
Gallman.
No, Wayne Gallman is the lock. Wayne Gallman is a stone lock.
Kerryon, I'll take Kerryon point per dollar points over Wayne Gallman on DraftKings. 5,400 versus 4,600.
I mean, I think they're both good plays. I'll take it. I'll take it just because I want to take it. We'll do that for 25. But I mean, I think they're both good plays.
All right. By the way, shout out to JJ Zachariason, or is it Zachariason? It's Zachariason.
It's Zachariason?
Right? Pretty sure.
Is it JJ or Judge?
Judge. It's Judge. Okay. For saying in the preseason that Russell Wilson was like making chicken salad out of chicken, you know what? He was so down on Russell Wilson, and
Well, that's because he uses math and he doesn't just say things just to say things.
Well, I mean, what does the math say about Russell Wilson in the past, Davis?
Dave, I love that everything we've said on this show so far, and you didn't want to say chicken shit.
Yeah, because
He's talked about 69 and everything.
I'm the wholesome one of the group. You know, like the MTV Real World where they had to have like one of the guys that's like the wholesome one? That's me. I'm the wholesome Swolecast member.
Imagine not watching the challenge still on MTV.
I don't.
It's a great show.
Imagine growing up. All right. Let's open up DraftKings. We'll continue talking about quarterbacks there.
Also, Tuttle, I'm not going to revoke our bet, but our stuff
you
has...
do it. It's fine.
Carry on is the number one points per dollar guy on our stuff. So
yeah, I don't want to take $25 from you. That was too easy.
But I want to believe in the Wayne train. I believe in the Wayne train.
Those matter.
It doesn't matter. This doesn't matter.
All right, let's open up DraftKings and.
So, who has the carry-on stats? I'm trying to bring up the expert survey so we can speak a little bit to this. This carry-on.
We played 75% of the snaps last week, and basically C.J. Anderson being cut was not what a lot of us playing high-stakes seasonal fantasy football thought, which was Ty Johnson going to have a role on the offense. It basically just meant Kerryon Johnson is the man.
47 of 55 snaps, ran her out on 18 to 34 dropbacks.
Hang on one sec. He had 71% of the team's rushing attempts, and he had 52% routes per dropback. They all increased. Now they get the cheeks. He got crushed by Ingram last week. It all sets up. It's the perfect storm. I bet $500 he outscores Dahlman.
What does the truly blitzed projection system have on that?
69 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Says carry on.
My wayward son.
Yes. All right, so we want to start with carry on in this lineup then on DraftKings?
I'll take him. Sure.
All right. And I'm going to just go with a Patrick Mahomes play. See what that little game stack is going to be like.
Yeah, Mahomes is like always the best tournament play, like every week.
This is a natural game stack because Hawkinson's really cheap on DraftKings too.
Marvin Jones, bro. Never thought I'd be touting Marvin Jones, but here we are.
We can't play a tight end in a timeshare with Jesse James, Tuttle.
All right, Pete, what do you got?
All right, let's do it. Let's get Sammy in there.
Sammy over McColl, huh?
Yeah, I just feel like, I never know. Is this supposed to be a cash lineup or a GPP? Who the hell knows? I've been watching this show for 4 years and I still don't know.
You definitely have to play it in cash. That's the rule.
To play it in cash. It's more of a GPP bill built for cash games.
Yeah, okay. It's the Galaxy Brain lineup, more or less.
All right, well, two dud games from Sammy in a row. I think people are going to be off of him. He's still getting a ton of opportunity there. I like Sammy.
All right, Tuttle.
Guys, we got to play Darwin Thompson here. He's looked great in the preseason, and no, you can't do that.
Okay.
So let's see. On DraftKings, I actually have a couple of terrible takes. They might not even be that terrible. Wide receiver terrible take. Let us go with.
There's a really good one out there.
I'm going with Will Fuller.
Oh, this is gonna.
That's not even bad.
He's the death of me, man. You got to just keep playing him, right?
Yeah.
Every week, you just gotta give Will Fuller the +10 boost in whatever optimizer you use, and just wait for it to run. Wait to run good.
Here, I'll give you guys two options for another cheap wide receiver here. It's between me. I got to check injury updates on Thursday, but Will Fuller or Mike Williams?
Fuller, dude. Come on.
This is the Mike Williams 2 touchdown
game. This is really a Mike Williams week though, because you know, like Keenan's gonna be like 35%, Mike Williams is gonna be like 6%, and and I don't think he scored yet this year either.
This is a real question as someone who's played Will Fuller every week, and I'm asking this in earnest. Do the Panthers have a pass rush?
I don't know.
Because, my issue with Fuller is Deshaun Watson has no time back there at all to let Fuller get loose deep. And so felt so burned playing Fuller watching.
I mean,
Watkins
he's just been hitting these freaking tight ends on the broken plays and everything, and just like, it's like Fuller's just running bad. He's actually playing like more snaps and running more routes than he ever has before in his career. Like, it seems like this is the first time he's like legit healthy. So I'm all the way on board with Fuller.
So the Panthers have the 4th best adjusted sack rate. If Soccer Dave was more corporate, he would have our gridiron IQ tool up and could show that.
I can't show it, but I'm looking at the Chargers Miami game on gridiron IQ. So
by the way, with the Mike Williams thing, I saw some stuff flying around about how Fuller's going to see a lot of, or not Fuller, Mike Williams will see a lot of Xavier Howard. Did anybody see?
Who cares?
Yeah,
Cooper just like dusted him 4 times.
I think Howard had the worst coverage grade by Pro Football Focus of all cornerbacks last week. It was like 29 or something like that. He doesn't care anymore. Nobody on the only thing truly more worthless than defensive versus position analysis in fantasy football is like wide receiver cornerback matchup analysis when it pertains to really good wide receivers. Like, it really doesn't matter.
All right. Speaking of like defenses matter.
Speaking of defenses mattering, I haven't got to make a pick yet. I'm taking Dalvin Cook at the Chicago Bears.
That's the true defenses don't matter pick.
The only reason why I think this might end up being bad is generally when you make these plays, you're getting like a massive ownership discount. I don't actually know if you're going to get a big ownership discount on Dalvin Cook. Obviously, he projects for one of the best workloads of the week. Probably will get more touches than any other player active this weekend other than Christian McCaffrey. But if he's 5% owned, I think it's obviously a super strong play. If he's in the double digits, it's probably pretty bad. So I don't know what you guys have that projected at.
Got it at 10% right now.
Yeah, it's probably not good at 10%. At 5%, it's really good.
The problem with it is his volume is obviously going to be there, but his price is so high now because of the first 3 weeks
on DK.
It's like even if you're getting 2 touchdowns here, which is probably like the best outcome that we could expect, it's whatever.
Oh, I mean, he's got to break for this price. He's got to break a long one like he did against Green Bay. That's the only way.
All right, I'm gonna go and double down on this guy, make some money again. Preston Williams has a wide receiver 3.
Dave, dude, what's the deal, man? Is this a cry for help?
Kitchen's the worst.
Well, I guess it depends on who do you think is covering Preston Williams this week, Davis?
I cannot fathom why it would matter.
He literally just went on a rant. How defensive back matchups don't matter.
Because who saw what did DeAndre Hopkins do last week? Mr. Defenses don't matter.
I don't, dude. It's a 1 game sample. Like, literally anything can happen.
I mean, this cornerback though is pretty good.
I mean, I guess like good for him. I don't know what.
Do you even know who I'm talking about? Like, do you even know?
Why would I know?
Do you know who Casey Hayward is?
Sure. Yes, I know who Casey Hayward is. I don't understand why it would matter for me if I'm trying to play daily fantasy.
Because he shut down DeAndre Hopkins. He's a shutdown corner.
I mean, if it's reflected in a set of good projections, then it'll be reflected in a set of good projections.
Does Kitchen think Casey Hayward's going to chase one of these receivers?
Does he think that
Devontae Parker is so good that he's going to get shadow coverage?
I think Parker is going to take all the coverage from him.
I just realized that's what Dave was getting at, that he thinks the Chargers are going to take this so seriously that someone's going to shadow somebody.
12 targets last week, and Preston Williams is going to continue to have a bunch of targets playing from behind.
Yeah.
Remember when Devontae Parker had 7
Remember
targets
when he got shadowed by Casey Hayward?
Davis, if anything, you should be thanking Dave for saving money so you can pay up for a running back in a bad matchup who doesn't catch passes.
All right, Pete, what do you got?
Dude, I hate this lineup, so I'll do Colts
This
D.
lineup is really bad.
Make
It's
sure to play
really
this
bad.
in cash, of
Play
course.
it in cash. Play it in cash.
So
My pick was Colts defense.
Colts defense, very, very solid.
Against Oakland, 3,100. All right, so we got 5,300 left per player for flex and tight end. Tuttle, you want to play Hawkinson in the tight end spot?
Return of the Mac. We gotta correlate this bit.
Who is Tyrann Mathieu going to be covering though? Because if Mathieu's on Hawkinson, I don't know if I want to play him. I feel like it's probably a little too risky.
Are you really saying his last name is Mathieu?
Yeah, this was so good.
This is how much I know defensive players. I don't even know how to say their names.
The Honey Badger? Is that what you mean? Tyrann Mathieu. Oh my God.
Oh, good Lord, this is good. We're doing good, guys.
Yeah,
That's a good show.
Big bucks for him.
No comments this week about the show getting progressively better.
Nope, not gonna happen. Play this lineup in cash, though.
All right, any tight end takes? I don't want to play Marlon Mack. Let's.
We should replace him. We should replace him with a really bad receiver on a really bad team instead. You're right.
Yeah, I think Preston Williams is the strongest play in this lineup. I don't even know if it's particularly close.
Davis, you've already lost money to Preston Williams.
I mean, if we're not playing Marlon Mack, we may as well just play
You said you had a bunch of terrible takes. Marlon
Damian
Mack's not one.
Ratley. Damian Ratley.
Gosh. I was hoping for something way better.
Isn't Marlon Mack like a really good player?
No,
That's what I'm saying. He has a lot of terrible takes. Like I want like a
my two. Okay, let's see. Terrible.
You have it like written down on a special notebook.
Let's see here.
What a nerd.
Terrible take notebook here.
Okay.
We could go with Jarvis Landry. Terrible take. Is that terrible enough?
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Or for tight end, we could go, because people are going to play Ebron, we could go Doyle. That could be a terrible take.
Doyle, I think, is like super strong also because he's right next to Will Dissly, so no one building hand-built lineups is going to play him. Like, he might be like 3%.
Doyle, Ebron running the same number of routes. T.Y. Hilton out, they'll probably run more double tight end packages anyway.
I do not feel good about Chalk Dissly week. We'll talk about that later.
So Jack Doyle it is. There's my terrible take.
This lineup's so gross, it's going to win the Millie.
Hey, but if you put Jack Doyle in there, you know what that leaves for salary remaining.
900.
It's a sign.
Is there another Miami Dolphin we can play?
Yeah.
Really spice this up?
This is
Mike
Kalen
Gesicki?
week.
Jakeem Grant. You know, Casey Hayward, I think, is going to be...
Casey Hayward is going to be on Devontae Parker.
I think he might be able to cover both Preston Williams and Devontae Parker at the same time. So then we'll go with Jakeem Grant. Okay, lock him in, guys.
This is, I think, the first time I've wanted to have Silva back on the show.
just belittle Soccer Dave.
No, he would have really roasted Soccer Dave for the Casey Hayward take.
He would have belittled you more for saying Tyrann Mathieu as a defensive back. All right.
Yeah, Evan Silva is the one who can really get on people about mispronunciations.
Who is the cornerback that you tried to say and it wasn't? This was like 2 or 3 years ago.
Darby.
He said he had a really hard to pronounce.
How do you say his name? It's Ronald.
Yeah, he didn't know how to say Ronald. Yes, that's great.
Why do you think Davis has never touted Ronald Jones on this show? He's afraid to go there.
All right.
Ronald.
Running back. Let's talk running backs. Tuttle, you start. Is Austin Eckler going to be the play this week, the top play, or do you have concerns after last week?
I don't have concerns. He's a really good play. I don't know if I would call him a lock, but he is a really good play. I do think running back wise, you're starting out with Kerryon Johnson, and kind of going from there. I think it's probably Kerryon, Eckler, McCaffrey, and then Wayne Gallman is probably your cash game pool at running back, and kind of constructing based on what you want to do at wide receiver and how much you want to spend there. So if you want to spend up, then I think you're probably going to avoid playing both Eckler and McCaffrey and have to choose between one of them. In which case I would actually side with McCaffrey. But yeah, I think Eckler's an awesome play still.
I guess that was my question to Davis, is that he's only 800 more, McCaffrey is.
Yeah, McCaffrey's a straight up better play than Eckler, for sure. Because Eckler was losing some of that goal line work that he was getting the first 2 weeks to Justin Jackson. Now,
and the early down work until the game kind of spun out of control where he had to come back in, but it was tilting watching Eckler in the first half last week.
I am just kind of curious as to how they choose to distribute the touches for these guys with Melvin Gordon coming back. And there are like a million different ways you could spin the narrative. You could say, okay, well, Eckler's going to get all these touches because it doesn't matter. He can take 20 touches and get a break next week. But then you could also say Justin Jackson's not going to play at all when Melvin Gordon gets back. So maybe they want to give him some work to keep him happy. I don't know. It just feels like a tough situation. So maybe Eckler is worse than I am thinking.
Peter, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I like Carry-On. I like Marlon Mack. One guy that I'm starting to warm up to, and I normally don't go dumpster diving at RB, but Chris Thompson, 4,500. Terry McLaurin now on the injury report with the hamstring. Chris Thompson's one of like 5 running backs with 20 targets so far.
How are the New York Giants linebackers at covering running backs in the flat though? Have you been grinding that tape?
Their DVOA is actually a little concerning in spots, but I like the way they're utilizing Chris Thompson out of the flat. He should be able to eat regardless.
So yeah, I don't know. Chris Thompson, we got him projected at 4% ownership right now too. I kind of like all of those things if you need to save money at running back.
He's really good in the bring back with you if you're doing the Daniel Jones thing and then you key in like minimum 2 Terry McLaurin, Trey Quinn, Chris Thompson, Vernon Davis.
All right. Speaking of running backs that did not do very good last week, Chris Carson and Leonard Fournette. Thoughts on either of those guys? Like, does recency bias plays into effect? Like, Davis, you're shaking your head no.
I mean, it's just this is a huge decision for people playing tournaments this week. Obviously, you're not going to be playing Chris Carson in cash, but it's about the best matchup that a running back can get. We have like one sample where Chris Carson was used on passing downs. We have another where it was pro-size, seeming like Rashad Penny's hamstring is not going to be good to go this week. So I don't know. And the team is giving him the coach speak too. Like he's going to be fine, but, I don't know. I probably don't want to play him. What do you think, Tuttle?
Which one?
He's so dusty. Chris Carson is so dusty.
I was trying to look up Fournette's stats, because I know how bad they've been, but Fournette's opportunity is so good. And I directly went to Fournette because I have no interest in Chris Carson. Just zero.
I mean, I have some interest just because he's playing Arizona. I have some interest.
Yeah, we've also had interest in him because of his matchups already this season, and it has not gone well.
He's horrible. He's really, really not good at being a running back.
No, and I mean, Pete Carroll will continue to talk him up. That's what he's continued to do is, oh yeah, whatever. We're not worried. We're not concerned about the fumble issues, but
he's not going to play as a pass catcher. He said we believe in him. We believe in Chris. He's a talented guy.
Right. And so, I mean, I think we just have enough guys in his price range. What is he on DraftKings? 5,700. Yeah, Fournette's right up there. We know he is going to get the passing work. Carson's not going to get the passing work. Yes, the matchup's tough for Fournette, but he's can produce on the ground and through the air. Fournette's touchdown regression should come in a positive way eventually here with him getting so much work. Another guy that we haven't talked about that's not even that much more expensive, actually 2 more guys that's not even all that much more expensive, that has work in the passing game that is going to be on the field a ton. Both David Johnson at 6,800, and Nick Chubb at 6,400.
Nick Chubb is he's like the all-time, like everyone who watched Sunday Night Football is completely out, but he's like a really good play.
Yeah, there was some talk that he's not going to see. He played at all but 1 snap. This past week.
Kitchen said he's not going to play 100% of the snaps again, which what does that mean?
Yeah. You don't say. He's not going to play 100% of the snaps. So they'll scale his work back a little, but they still do want to get him involved as a passer. He's going to see a lot of touches. The matchup's not all that great, but it's actually not as bad as you would expect either against the Ravens. So, I see no reason for Chris Carson. All the guys I mentioned, Fournette, Chubb, David Johnson are guys that I would play before Carson easily, despite the matchup that Carson has.
All right, Philip Lindsay, last running back on the board. Peter, your lip just pursed.
Yeah, I mean, he had a great game last week, but I mean, he is in the quintessential timeshare with Royce Freeman. I mean, they're both getting equal opportunity right now, so I'm not chasing that Lindsay touchdown game.
Well, what we saw, how many carries? I'm trying to bring it up here. They had just a ridiculous number of carries against the Packers again too.
That's what they want. That's what they want to do, though. That's
what they want to do.
They just
but
want to run.
They had
right.
Well, Lindsay had 21 and Freeman had 15.
Yeah, they carried the ball almost 40 times as a team. Like, that's not going to be just pure volume wise. That's not going to happen very often. So if you're looking at pretty close to a 50-50 split and you cut those carries down by 10% or by 10 in total, it's, I mean, yes, he can get a touchdown. He could score this week, but it's not something you want to bet on.
The one thing that's nice is they are both getting targets. They each had 5 last week. They each had 7 the week before. I mean, Devonta Booker is not a thing. So that does raise their floor, but I just still feel like there's better ceiling plays.
I think Lindsay's pretty strong. I think he's pretty good. He'll definitely be in my tournament player pool.
Also, if you go to Gridiron IQ, you can say we have a high value opportunities column. And he has 58% of the rushes inside the 10-yard line.
HVT, shout out Ben Gretsch.
And then, he also has, 5 easy targets, which is the raw count of player targets received while physically located inside of the end zone. So, he has like ceiling stuff as far as touchdown opportunities there. All right. Let's move on to wide receiver. And, Davis, you tell us about who other than Keenan Allen is a good wide receiver. And are you on record to say Keenan Allen is not a good GPP wide receiver again this week?
So if our initial projection of 34% ownership in large field tournaments is accurate, it's really bad.
RG is 31%.
That's not, no. You cannot be playing 30% owned. I mean, if you are, you need to be doing a double stack. So it needs to be, you need to have Rivers and one of Mike Williams or Austin Eckler or other pass catching guys in there and maybe even do a bring back with, whoever Casey Hayward is not covering because that's the most important thing to know.
It's Kossi. It's Kossi.
I feel like we deserve a Tuttle's terrible take about Sean Culkin right now. I mean,
I need Sean Culkin touted on this broadcast.
I mean, David already touted Preston Williams, so I think I'm pretty good.
I know CSU is with me.
There are a couple, there are some extremely strong wide receiver plays though. Sammy Watkins, Christian Kirk, DJ Moore is 5,600. Terry McLaurin, assuming he's healthy, I think he is going to be pretty popular. Sterling Shepard is a guy that I really like at 5,800, but obviously, the two best tournament plays are, the fade people who watch Sunday Night Football. That is Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods with, Jared Goff stacks, and then the bring back with Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, and OJ Howard. Those guys are just so strong and are going to come in at such low ownerships.
Two no practices for Godwin though, right?
Yeah. Has dealing with some kind of hip issue. Obviously, if that's actually a good one. If he doesn't go, what is that? Are Justin Watson and Brashad Perryman going to be in people's lineup?
Jesus. Brashad. I'm just replaying. What week was it? The Brashad Perryman, that must have been against the Panthers. So week 2, the Brashad Perryman through the hands
on the screen.
On the end zone. Yeah. Well, it was end zone.
We now call that the Trent Sherfield.
Yeah, that was
horrible. That was so bad.
Still not over that.
I'm just sad we can't play Tuttle's terrible take of last week as part of the Tampa Bay offense in Adam Humphries.
Yeah. It was a good take by you, even though it was like
Thank you.
Day of. It was a Thursday night game. It feels like Kirk is such a safe play this week though, Peter.
He is. He's, I thought he was a cool play early on, but now I feel like he's the condom play. But he's still way too cheap at 5,100. He's Fitz's targets have gone down each week. And Kirk's, he's gone 12, 8, 12. So, I mean, that opportunity is insane. If they're going to be down to the Seahawks, and they're using him creatively, it's just they're not using him downfield. So,
you know it's a square play once Soccer Dave is on it.
You know the raw dog play.
You're going to go back to your Demir Bird?
Keyshawn. Demir on the injury report.
And Crabtree released.
Raw dog it with Keyshawn.
Put that in the SEO tags this week. Raw dogging it with Keyshawn.
Throw him the damn ball, IMO.
Raw dog play of the week.
Fifth, as far as like target share, fifth highest guy on the team as far as target share. Not sure I'm raw dogging it with Keyshawn. Like Demir Bird would be the guy that we got.
He's injured. He's on the injury
David,
report.
we just said,
literally with Demir Bird on the injury report, you raw dog it with Keyshawn.
Davis says that injury report doesn't matter.
When did I say that?
You've said that in the past. That if someone's questionable, the injury report doesn't matter. They have to be doubtful.
So the math is true that guys who are listed as questionable on Sunday morning and who play have the average the same FPPG as dudes who are not on the injury report at all. But obviously, if a player is inactive, it matters.
I believe this is one of those Davis made up statistics that
I'll have Adam Harstad send it to you. That's the guy from Football Guys. He's the one who did the compilation of it.
We need Pete to put on his glasses and tell us the exact percentages of quadriceps injuries. And
Davis is about to send you 100-thread tweet from Adam Harstad. Get a blog, dude.
All right. Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, that was the other.
I mean, what? Yeah, do we even have to say it? Like he's literally he's such an easy click.
But we've talked about like 5 guys being an easy click. I mean, you got to make a decision.
Lockett to me is the highest priority in cash game single entry and 3 max.
Lock it in there.
All right, we're locking it in there.
That's the good stuff.
Other wide receivers that you like, Davis.
I mean, I guess McLaurin is kind of obvious. Brandon Cooks and Robert Woods, as I mentioned.
Just said he's on the injury report.
And players on the injury report with hamstring injuries see a decrease in production by 30%.
I think the one play that people aren't going to make that is really good, like not a sneaky play, but just as really good as Marquise Brown. He's 3rd in the NFL in air yards, and Lamar is just like a lot better as a passer. And I think like the entire Cleveland secondary, I think it's just all guys whose names I could never learn to pronounce because literally they're not even NFL players. Like
Greeny Williams, you can't say that one.
Well, no, wasn't the narrative last week that all 4 the starting corners and the 2 starting safeties, weren't they all out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that seems like maybe that would at least make it easier for Marquise Brown to get some points, but I don't want to be on record as saying defenses matter. So I'm just gonna say that Marquise Brown has good volume this week.
Hollywood, he's cheap AF on FanDuel, 5,700.
And I mean,
how often is a guy that like cheaper than his DK price? Like that's wild down at the low end.
And the other thing too, I mean, he was getting so many deep targets downfield that weren't connecting in that game. And now Mark Andrews, this is the injury report show. He hasn't practiced 2 days in a row with that foot. And last week he did end up practicing, or he didn't ever have 2 days where he didn't practice in a row. So if he doesn't go, you'd have to think that Marquise gets a little target uptick as well.
I think he's playing. What about guys who haven't been good in the past? Robert Woods? Tuttle, seems like this might be with Davis, I know you want to say something. Give Tuttle a chance, though, real quick.
Davis is just going to say that Robert Woods is the elite leverage play off of everybody who's going to own
I already said
it
3 minutes ago.
Yeah.
All right.
He's not wrong. Yeah. I mean, Davis knows I played Robert Woods on the showdown slate because I knew everybody else would. Granted, I had Cup too. I just didn't captain him.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Curtis Samuel?
Yes.
Yeah. I kind of think no.
I like the speed guys against Texans. I like that game as a game stack.
Oh, the boundary. Yeah, it's a good game stack. I totally agree.
And
I don't know if there's any signal to Kyle Allen targeting Curtis Samuel 7 times, but DJ Moore only twice. And then he was heavy on Greg Olsen, but the Texans have been pretty good against tight ends. So, it should set up well for Samuel.
I don't know if we're going to I don't know if our professional relationship can continue on this show after you just touted defense versus position, analysis to me.
That's some DVP. That's a Silva take though. I mean, that's the same thing. Silva take.
I've had PREF reference up all day, and the logistical regression says that they suck against tight ends.
All right, elite wide receivers, before we move on, elite wide receivers that you might want to play in tournaments. Davis.
I mean, Keenan, I guess, has the biggest
You said you
projection.
can't play him in tournaments. You literally said you are a big fish if you play him in tournaments. And I
So
asked
if you
for
do-
one elite guy to play in tournaments. You say Keenan Allen.
I mean, I guess the answer is DeAndre Hopkins in terms of like ownership, but Keenan is projected 4 points higher than anyone else in our pool, so you just got to
But
make
I
sure
don't
to play him with
understand,
Rivers
David. You
and
said
then
you
one other
cannot play
Charger.
him in tournaments. And then I just asked who the high price wide receiver was in tournaments, and you say Keenan Allen. Which
Thank
one
you for
is
letting
it?
me finish my thought, David.
Which one is it?
I mean, Julio, if we're taking no other considerations, if we're just talking tournaments and not stacking things.
We just had 3 different answers from Davis Mattek.
Hey, you know who we haven't even mentioned yet?
Who?
Call a day,
Yeah.
celebrate.
Either him or Marvin are going off this week.
Call a day.
All right.
I like Odell too.
I was going to ask if anybody, are you on Odell as your high price receiver? I think it's Julio too, by the way.
It's Hopkins. You're all wrong, but
All right. I think Julio or Hopkins are a good place.
and we literally just named every single receiver in the player pool, so we are correct no matter what.
That's just touting 101.
I think
That
we
is
got all the
touting 101.
bases covered. I think got all the-
We'll play back just that specific
Actually,
section
I
on
don't
when we
think
said
we-
that person's name.
I don't think we covered Mike
Sammy
Evans.
Watkins, Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Brandon
Yeah.
Cooks, Julian Edelman, Sterling Shepard,
just
Mike
all
Evans,
just
DJ Moore.
amazing.
I don't think we covered
Amazing.
Mike Evans or the Rams' other 2 wide receivers, but here we are. All right, let's open up FanDuel. Davis, that is FanDuel.com.
Do you know my password? I don't even know if I have an account on this site anymore.
All right.
I would just like to say I got owned on FanDuel on early last week in a 109 head-to-head by somebody who played Derek Carrier against me. It hurt. I wanted to curl up and.
Anytime I hear Derek Carrier, I think of Justin Bailey. It was like a Justin Bailey special. Shout out to Bailey. All right. Davis, I'll let you start since you can just pick anybody.
Well, let's go Lamar Jackson and use that Hollywood Brown price.
Negan in 2 picks for the price of 1, David?
Yeah, that's what he just did, Peter.
Sure, move. Oh man, I typed in Hollywood
Gibbs
in the
Kitchen
search
one
bar and
last
it didn't
pick,
show anything
so
up.
the viewers win on that.
Peter, you can play your Odell pick right now if you want.
Yeah, why not?
Why don't you tell Peter what to do?
And Peter, I'll let you have another pick while we're at it.
No. I want to share the wealth. This is, it's
All right. Say no more.
He's
Title?
just so nice, this Peter guy. FanDuel running back.
FanDuel NFL running back.
FanDuel NFL running back.
NFL running back David Johnson.
All right, going with DJ. A FanDuel running back, I feel like it's
I think FanDuel running back's kind of interesting
Yeah.
from a discussion standpoint on if you even need to play Wayne Gallman on FanDuel.
right.
Because he's not that discounted from the David Johnsons.
Yeah, and even if I think I'd rather have Fournette for 600 more. And I know that
Right.
sounds gross, but
Fournette played every running back snap on that Thursday night game, and I don't. Maybe he's like gone on keto in the last 10 days and lost a couple pounds, so he's a little bit more agile. You never know.
The best. David's on keto over here, stuffing cream cheese and bacon in his mouth. Guys, this keto diet is awesome. I'm gonna die of heart disease soon, but my God, I lost 5 pounds.
And my seizures stopped, so there are medical benefits as well. I've lost 23 pounds since March on intermittent fasting. Anybody want to make fun of intermittent fasting?
No,
That's what I'm doing right now currently.
The science behind that is actually legit.
I know, I was going to say, you're drinking like a 42-ounce
Yeah, 42 ounce. I intermittent fast, but man, I take advantage of that 8-hour window.
All right. I don't even know who we're on right now. It might be even me.
Yeah, I think it's you.
All right. So I'm going to go with.
Oh no, I think
we don't have any.
I think David already went. Actually, now that I think about it,
I'm going to go with. Screw you, Toto. I'm going to go with Galladay.
Galladay.
All right. Davis.
Can I take Evan Ingram at the tight end position?
Sure.
If
you were an Ingram owner, how amazing was that second half last week?
It was nice. It was very nice.
Halves don't matter.
Number one tight end in fantasy football thus far.
Peter?
Yeah, I know we put this guy in the other lineup, but he's a great FanDuel play, so I'll go Marlon Mack. What, Dave?
You can't put a player in 2 lineups.
Yeah,
really can.
Because
you can put guys in 2 different cash lineups, no problem.
This guy.
This isn't a cash lineup. All right.
I mean, you play it in cash though.
52.50 per player title. Flex or defense.
I mean, you can go a variety of ways here. I think the chalk ways to fill out are guys that we've already talked about with Fournette and Carry On. I don't want to really be chalky, though.
I don't expect you to be chalky.
I don't know what to do. Somebody hold me. And I don't really want to play wide receiver in the flex either.
Indecisive title is the word.
Nate Nolan played a wide receiver in flex and cash games last week is one of the most egregious things anyone's ever admitted to doing.
Nate Nolan has these on when he records the Gilcast.
Nate Nolan has those on 100% of the time.
Whatever. I'll just go Fournette. It's boring.
All right. I don't know how chalky Fournette will be though. But if you do
Fournette
Fournette
will not be chalk at all because people are just if I can bring Evan Silva to this, people just they just think whatever happened last week is going to happen again. But Fournette's performance in terms of the usage was actually really good. It's just he's really bad, so he has to score touchdowns to get there.
He's averaging double-digit fantasy points without a touchdown, though. Like that's
good
for his price tag. That's good.
And let's go with the Minnesota D. I know they're on the road, but Trubisky cannot handle that Vikings D.
Guys, I just plugged these all in to the FanDuel lineup thing, and it fits.
Yeah, it does fit.
That's
awesome.
Interesting.
That's what she said.
It's amazing. All right, tight end.
That's what she said, too.
Will Dissly and on DraftKings, yay or nay in cash, Davis?
I mean, he's not a good play. I might just do it.
I might do it.
I might do it just for the block. But he just cannot possibly be a good play, right?
Well, they did trade Nick Vanette too, which opens some things up a little bit.
So
I mean, he is running routes when they are passing, but
what over under 15% of Seattle's targets for Will Dissly in this game against Arizona? 15% market share of the team's targets.
That seems pretty reasonable. I'll take the over, even though I think
that's our projection right now, and that gets him to be a neutral value at 3,600.
So he ran, Disley ran a route on 28 of 61 dropbacks last week.
That's so bad.
But Vanette ran a route on 20.
Was traded. That's the thing that's mitigating the big performance from last week where it was pretty noisy. But then Vanette goes, and now who else is taking away those snaps now?
The thing is I just don't want the fish who believe in defenses versus position stuff to get rewarded. And I think a lot of the times the universe does not reward the fish. So like, I just feel like the people who are parroting these, tight end versus Arizona stats are going to get punished. And that's kind of why I think I don't want to play them. There's a lot going on here.
It's an internal
The mental
battle.
gymnastics you're having to do for these picks seems exhausting, Davis.
Yeah.
I need a new hobby.
The Vanette trade does.
No, it is. He probably just ends up being the play because I think your other option in cash games is Evan Ingram, and that just changes the whole construction of your lineup.
I don't think I'm going to play Disley. I know that sounds.
No, clearly not playing Disley is not bad. I think there are.
I would rather play
other
OJ.
guys. I think
I would rather play OJ Howard over Disley.
Although,
that's bad.
Now
that's
that's
really
hot
bad.
I mean, just imagine how terrible Twitter would be if you did not play Will Disley and he scores a
and
touchdown.
he has 2 touchdowns.
Oh
like you're
my
gonna
God.
want to log off.
Even just one catch for like 30 yards, still Twitter is going to go wild.
Yeah,
it's going to be just unbearable.
Especially if it's one where he's like just wide open and people are gonna be.
I told you.
Smiz is gonna post the tweet that's like the flow chart.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And I'm just gonna I think I just have to play him. I think I just gotta play Disley.
Yeah, I can see this already. Remember first week 1, Tyrell was complete chalk, and I said, I'm fading Tyrell in tournaments, and I'm going to be so tilted when he scores a touchdown, and Smiz tweets the Gazelle gif. And first touchdown of the game, Tyrell Williams, and I just went to sleep. I literally I just turned the game off and went to bed.
Well, it's not just that you faded him in tournaments. It was you faded him in tournaments on a 2-game slate on that Monday night game.
Yeah, I stand by it. Stand by it. Let's not be results oriented here. We're a forward thinking show.
Love it. He slurps some Mountain Dew down and let's move on.
Tight ends I would rather play over Disley on DraftKings. Greg Olsen.
Well, I thought we were talking about FanDuel.
Well, you're definitely not playing Disley on FanDuel, but DraftKings, Greg Olsen, and even TJ Hawkinson. I just do not believe.
So Hawkinson is there's just no way. That's bad. Olsen I get. Hawkinson, no way. There's a $300 difference, and pretty much there's just no value in taking those stands in cash. Like unless you think that a dude can really win you your games, I don't think there's a ton of value in taking stands like that in cash games.
Yeah, I mean, I was actually grinding the Lions tight end situation on Gridiron HQ. I'm dead serious today. I mean, he's in a full-on split with Jesse James. And Jesse James is like a pass-catching guy. Too. So they have Hawkinson that's blocking on these snaps while Jesse James is running routes. Like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah, 19 of 34 routes for Hawkinson last week.
It's also Gridiron IQ, not Gridiron HQ.
Okay. It's lineup HQ, bro.
No. It's Gridiron... Yeah. Oh, yeah. I know. All right. Anyways, other tight end takes. We haven't even talked about Kelsey.
Who? I mean, Kelsey, you just do every week. Every week you do Mahomes with at least 2, Sammy Watkins, Travis Kelsey, Demarcus Robinson, McCole Hardman, and you just do that in 20 to 30% of your lineups.
Why would we talk about Kelsey instead of the guy that leads the league in target share at the position?
Mr. Darren Waller.
30%
it
target
rhymes
share.
with Warren Schwaller.
Generational usage.
You think it continues? You think it regresses?
Well, you see the Indianapolis Colts zone scheme really is set up well for opposing tight ends to really sit in the middle of that zone and get those underneath catches. Kind of like we saw with Austin Hooper last week, who had 6 catches for 66 yards and 2 touchdowns.
I'm surprised you didn't use funnel defense on that.
Oh, my bad.
Do you remember that era in DFS content?
2017 was the funnel
defense.
The funnel defense.
Oh man.
Star
I used to believe a lot of things that are just so obviously objectively false.
By the way, I think that the percentage of routes ran, it's 60.7 to 29%. So Pete and Davis, I will take Hawkinson over Disley this week.
Okay, let's
Straight
do
up.
it, Dave, for your house.
Okay.
Pink slips.
For your third daughter. I need a girl in my family.
Oh,
we only have 4 guys. So instead of Nicole having another baby, I just figure we'll just trade for yours.
Having a Gaspar baby around the house, hard pass.
Yo, Callan, can I say who my favorite is?
Yeah, sure.
My 3-year-old Callan, he started to do this thing where he takes his shirt off and yells "nips out." And it is amazing, and I love it so much.
That's what you're going to be yelling during the Super Bowl halftime show.
Nips out.
Davis, Hawkinson versus Disley straight up.
Our projections have them 0.06 points apart. So
I know, but you said there's no reason I'm not playing Disley.
He did say that.
Even though your projections say that they're very, very close.
I'm a witness.
I don't think there's a ton of value in taking that stand in cash.
That is actually a decent take from Davis there as well.
He's saying like the free square.
Yes.
Even if you don't think it's a free square, I just think like why put yourself in a position where 16 points from Will Disley just ends your day?
Unless it's like legit bad chalk. Like sometimes there's examples of situations where you can definitively say, okay, this is really bad. Like if for any reason people decide to play Todd Gurley this year, that would be a spot to clearly avoid.
How about Josh Jacobs in a negative game script?
Yeah.
I really think that David is also underestimating the tiltiness of flowchart tweets when Will Disley goes off.
I'm already tilted thinking about it. I can't be a victim of being like everyone else did this and I'm the one person who's too stupid.
I'm trying to keep up with Davis saying that Disley is not a good play, but you have to play him. And then saying later on that you don't play bad chalk.
In tournaments.
He's 3,600 in tournaments. But yeah, no, Will Disley's not going to be a big part of my tournament lineups. I'll have Travis Kelce, Evan Ingram, Mark Andrews, Darren Waller, Greg Olsen, Delaney Walker, Hawkinson, Doyle, a little bit of Gerald Everett probably.
How many tight ends are you playing this week?
He lists the whole position again.
My tight ends are always correlated with the quarterback, so it depends on how many quarterbacks I play. I like generally don't play unstacked tight ends unless it's Ingram or Kelce.
This is why Davis has never won an NFL GPP.
It's not true.
When did you win it? Did you win an NFL GPP this year?
Not this year, no. But I have.
Okay. All right. I think that does it for tight ends. Davis, you have not won an NFL GPP.
I'll go pull up my RotoGrinders page right now.
I'm trying not to call you out here, but you're making it very difficult. Final thoughts. Or Tuttle, you gotta have a terrible take.
Didn't I give Jack Doyle? It was going to be my terrible take. My other ones are too good.
You had plenty of them, and you have also a whole notebook of plays.
Well, I think they're too good. I think you guys have determined that my other takes are just too good, actually good takes, like Mike Williams and Will Fuller. If you give me Mike Williams or Will Fuller as a terrible take, then I would gladly take them. But if they're too good of plays, then I'll take Jack Doyle as my truly terrible take of the week.
I like the Landry one as a truly terrible.
That's really bad. Yeah.
Okay, Jarvis Landry, truly terrible take of the week.
Get up.
The thing is, I'm not going to play. See, okay, I can't do that. I'll take credit when Jarvis Landry scores a touchdown, but the problem is his price tags. Like, I'm not going to play him in any lineups whatsoever. If he was like down in the 4K range on DraftKings or in the 5Ks on FanDuel, I would consider it. But I could see myself playing some Doyle. So I'm taking Jack Doyle. It's my truly terrible take of the week.
All right. It may seem like I'm picking on the Bills, but I'm not. It's 4-0 this week. The Patriots win by more than 7.5.
Wow. Kitchen's really embracing the tout life.
He really is.
What's your record on these?
3-0. I just said I'm 3-0.
Is it tracked? Do you have this tracked on the Sharp Side app or no?
I don't think I have it tracked on this sharp.
Oops,
I'm just giving people their. We have video evidence. We have evidence that this stuff happened.
We also have evidence of Preston Williams, Dave.
Yeah. We also have evidence that Davis has never won a GPP.
Never won an NFL GPP or never won one, period?
I said an NFL GPP.
You're right. I was wrong. I got second, third, and fourth. I just looked at my results page.
Oh, bridesmaid in the quarter arcade. All right. Any other final thoughts before we end this?
Don't let me
enjoy Will Dissly week, I guess. Don't fall victim to the flow chart.
Don't play Will Dissly. Don't play Will Dissly. He's not that free of a square. It's not a free square.
No, he's not even close to a free square.
I know, so that's why you don't have to play him.
It's not about not having to play him or having to play him. It's just about not wanting to fall victim to the flow chart.
If anyone is listening now, you get a $100 free credit to your FanDuel account, courtesy of...
No one is responding to this?
Simon cut us like 30 minutes ago. We're just all having a chat.
All right, that will do it for the week 4 Swolecast. Appreciate everyone who, for some reason, keeps on tuning in. That give us good reviews, thumbs up. We need like some swag or something to give, like some Swolecast swag. If you could have one piece of swag, what would you have, Peter?
It would be a Swolecast fanny pack, Dave.
I like it. Davis, would you have like a Swolecast scrunchie?
No, I'd want a hat.
Okay, hats.
Tuttle, actually wear it.
What would yours be?
A Swolecast mattress.
No. Well, only if a dead guy slept on it.
It would have to be used and a dead guy slept on it.
Swolecast koozie to put my Truly in.
Okay. I think we can make some of this stuff happen. By the way, if you are in the printing business out there,
I didn't want to give us free stuff.
You guys remember those awesome Swolecast shirts we got?
Oh, man.
And that David then made fun of on air for how bad the quality was.
Because like one of them actually just said, because the letters peeled off after 2 washes.
Yeah, we get free shirts from some dude and David's on here. Man, these shirts are terrible. I wish we could have better quality.
They were, and they're like, if these are good, would you mind like giving us a shout out? And I'm like, sure. And then did not give us a shout out.
Negative review instead.
At least they shipped it on time. All right, that will do it for Week 4 Swolecast. On behalf of Peter, Dan, and Davis, I'm David. We'll see you next week here on RotoGrinders.com.